Hi everyone, I'm Alex from Phantom Radio. This is Mel, she's the current VP of Education. And these are our education candidates. We'll go along the line so that they can introduce themselves accordingly.
Hi, my name's Nina. Hi, I'm Ellie.
I'm Neil.
Brilliant, that started off with outrage. I'll let Mel go first, since she's the current VP of Education. She's probably got more questions and more knowledge than I definitely will have. So, take it away, Mel.
Yeah, so I'm just going to ask you guys a few questions that are related to the role itself, so not really directly to your manifesto, but more about the day-to-day kind of job role that you will have if you get elected. So my first question to you guys is, in this role you have to attend lots of different meetings, being an officer, and between that and trying to be visible, reading papers and going to meetings, how do you plan on organising your time? So we can go for maybe like Neil first.
So I like to plan 2 weeks ahead. So any meetings like that will be penciled in straight away. And then when it comes to the actual day, I'll come in a little bit earlier and sort of make sure that I'm doing this at this time and this at another time, and then sort of prioritise my day around that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm quite a visual person, so I quite like having like a visual calendar or a planner with everything written down. So make sure that everything is like written down, colour coded, everything, and also set reminders on my phone for like important meetings to make sure I'm there on time.
Yeah. So currently my life's all about organisation because I hold so many different positions at this time. So it's all about prioritising. So meetings will of course come first. And then definitely one of my goals is to be as out and about as possible, especially to the other campuses, so not Kelliston Road, if that makes sense.
Yeah, great answers guys. My second one is report writing and delivery is part of the role. You're going to be invited to lots of different meetings which are quite high up as well, so you have to make sure you have an impact within those meetings. How confident are you that you can deliver an effective report in those meetings?
I'm very confident. I don't like taking no for an answer, so there has to be a very good reason as to why they don't want a certain thing to happen. But in terms of writing a report, I will write a full report, and then I'll write a secondary report. So the secondary report will be kind of like a cut down version, but that will be kind of like the one to give out to the part-time officers and all that sort of stuff. So they're still informed, but obviously there's certain things that you can't say to other people because of confidentiality and all that sort of stuff. So that's how we'll deal with that.
So on my course I have to do reports and deliver reports, and because I do health and social care, doing reports is a big part of that college and everything, so I am very much used to delivering reports, and I guess that's it.
So considering I'm currently a part-time officer, I delivered a report yesterday to the head of the School of Arts, so that's kind of something that I already do, so I'm quite confident delivering reports and writing them, just because kind of I've had the experience of doing it, and at the end of the day everyone that you're talking to are still people. Doesn't matter how high up they are in the university chain, they're just still people.
Confident answers, which is like what I want to hear. My third and final question for you guys is, there's a wrong and right answer to this, so think about it. How do you plan on gathering feedback from all the colleges and schools at the University of Derby? There's something in place at the moment that Vice President Education uses for this. What do you think it is?
Start with Nina first.
Yeah.
The student rep structure, and in addition to that, part-time officers that are already in place, but definitely take full advantage of that.
Is there anything new that you would add to that as well?
So what I would kind of want to do as well is do kind of what I'm doing now with the campaigning, is actually walk around and talk to people, because being a rep for 2 years and a part-time officer now, I kind of know that maybe what the reps are saying is maybe their individual experience, or sometimes they're not as engaged, so I kind of want to see as well what people will tell me in person, because they tend to be a bit more honest.
Is that going to be like practical in terms of time, just thinking of your actual your calendar now? How many free time do you have to even grab a sandwich occasionally on a day? What is it, half an hour, 20 minutes?
Yeah, you get a 20-minute break for your lunch break. Sometimes you just don't get that either. But yeah,
it's something that once I know what my schedule looks like,
yeah,
definitely going to do
Absolutely.
my best to kind of implement. Yeah.
Ronan.
So similar kind of answer with the student rep scheme and the PTOs that get feedback from the colleges and everything, and
And anything new that you can think of that might kind of, gather feedback?
I think it would be quite important to utilise like the technology, because obviously we're in a very technological society nowadays, and a lot of people are on social media and on the internet. So I think it's quite important utilising that to get opinions, and it's also quite easy in terms of time schedules for both ourselves and for students as well. Because a survey online, you can do it in 5 minutes, so it's a lot easier for students when they've got a busy schedule. So I think that's quite important to utilise.
Absolutely.
So something visual is always great. So one of the things that's in the debate that I would do is get photos of the part-time officers, should they want to, of course, and make sure they all have like their own, either their own email address, their own Twitter account, or somewhere in which students can put a name to a face, they can put a contact detail to a face, and use that as kind of a way of getting feedback from the part-time officers, and for feedback for the students to the part-time officers as well. But I would also make sure that I keep in touch with them quite a lot. So again, I would encourage them to do like a professional Facebook page or something similar to that, and sort of send messages every week just to say how are things getting on, like, and then arrange times to meet them throughout the time.
Sure.
I've got a curveball on that one.
Right.
The union actually have a policy that we, maybe not a policy, I think it's like a regulation that we don't allow all members of the union or our part-time officers to have Facebook groups and Instagrams and things like that. So if I throw that at you, how would you change that point, and how would you change your plan? Because that's not allowed.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, okay.
Okay, well, if that's not allowed, then I would.
They're allowed to do their personal ones, but then are you going to ask them to put almost their work onto their personal? Just careful.
Yeah, you've got to sort of separate personal to professional, definitely. So that is something that I would look at. I didn't know about that regulation, so it's good that you brought that, so thanks for that.
That's all right.
And but yeah, we'll sort of see. I'll have to refeed that a bit later on.
Yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
so many
focus
different
on that.
possibilities. Maybe you can create a platform, a complete new platform for the part-time officers to share things and things like that. So the possibilities are endless, but I guess with the role comes the knowledge that sometimes things aren't possible. So it's such a realistic part of the role is having to work your manifesto points, things like that, through all the regulations and policies and stuff.
But certainly staying in touch with the part-time officers is certainly key.
Yeah, you guys all got it right, to be fair. It is the part-time officers, it is the rep scheme, and it's how you utilise that, which is why I added that question at the bottom. At the end, it's knowing that there is that structure in place and how you interact with them makes you the vice president that you want to kind of be.
This is exactly why she's here as well. It's like, because I was just about to interject and then that's not allowed, and then I just completely comes in and just nails it. But yeah, that's all the time I've got for today. So do just say a quick thank you to her.
Thanks guys, good luck, and I'll see everyone soon.
Right, so we're going to start by going through each of your manifestos then. We'll start with you first, Neil. Your first initial point is to ask the university to pay £1 per student that will go to each college in order to improve the events and academic societies that they can each hold. How confident are you that you can actually get that funding from the university?
I'm very confident, because at the moment the university is a top 30 university, and if they want to improve on that, they have to invest. And the way they do that is by increasing engagement for our students and using the services that the Students' Union has to invest in academic societies and increase participation, because we've seen through Geology Society, Law Society and nursing in particular have benefited massively from the current system, but just imagine what other societies and the ones that are currently doing well can do with all this extra money. And I think if they want to climb that ladder, then they're going to have to put their money in the societies.
Okay, let me further my point a little bit further then. Now, the main solution that I'm trying to get across is that, say we have 28,000 students at this university, that's £28,000 throughout those entire things, so that's £1 per student, or £28,000, simple mathematics. To get that £1 per student, and that's £28,000, somewhere else has got to lose £28,000. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
It's simple economics. So, in your opinion, where would you is it something when you've got office, if you were to get office, you'd look at it and go, hang on a minute, this is too much, we can siphon it off here, or is it outside sourcing of funding? What is your opinion?
Okay, good question. So we will ask the university directly. So we'll take it out of the education budget for the university, and we'll make sure that it will be part of of extra in terms of what the grant that we get.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Nina, we'll start with you. We'll continue with you. Sorry. In your opening statement, you explained how the skills you've gained from previous roles will aid you in this current one that you're running for. Can you expand on what those particular skills are for me?
Yeah, so far in my kind of university career, and currently, I work as an ambassador. I've been a student rep for 2 years. I'm currently a part-time officer, and I work as an events manager for the Makerspace, and I'm a full-time student on top of that. So I start with organisation first, because to balance all that and be effective at all those roles, I have to kind of really prioritise and organise my time properly, so that I don't fail my degree, basically. Also I've learned how to speak in front of people, how to do presentations. Through my role as a part-time officer, I've learned how to write reports, be in meetings, be presentable, kind of get my point across and be listened to. And then as an events manager with the Makerspace, I know how to run an event, I know what goes into making an event and making it successful.
Okay, yeah. So you've already said that you're a manager at a separate place now. What's made you jump from that? Surely you could get more involved in that. What made you specifically pick to choose this?
So
you said you were an events manager.
Yeah, so the Makerspace is part of the university. It's not an external company.
Right. Okay.
So it's a student-led workshop within Marketing Street. So it's not an external company, and basically you can't be part of the Makerspace management team if you're not a student.
Brilliant.
So that's why I'm not
Super.
going there.
Thank you. I know it. You know it.
Yeah.
They might not know it. You see. So we all need to do this. Ellie, we'll talk about your second manifesto point first, which is to introduce longer library opening times across all of the campuses. Do you think two parts first, do you think the longer hours are needed across all campuses?
I believe so, because obviously students work to different schedules, and I think it's important to adapt the library timetable to meet those schedules and to ensure that students are getting the library access that they need to complete their course.
Okay, so currently I think, across all campuses, I think the library is open until 10 PM across all campuses. Do you think? Pardon?
It's 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock?
Yeah, it depends actually when.
It depends on a specific time. There's certain times where it's 24 hours, there's certain times where it's 10, and there's certain times when it's 9.
Yeah.
So, with extending it there, you've got to pay staff, you've got to pay electricity, you've got to pay computers, you've got to pay all of that. How are you actually going to get funding for this?
So it'd be lobbying to the university to put funding into the library system, because it is an important asset to the university.
So last year they already increased their library funding as well. So you think they're going to double down 2 years in a row, and they might say no, we did enough previously. Do you think that you guys are going to be good enough to convince them of this?
I think as they're increasing their student numbers year on year, I think they will be investing more into the library system, as there are more students in general. So having access to more resources is important.
Yeah, of course. Now we'll come back to you. One of your many points in your manifesto is to address the parking system and introduce a prepaid system at Kettleston Road and the other places that are there. You also want to introduce a discounted student parking fee. How do you plan to get that introduced and fund it? Is it a simple selling point or what?
Okay, so we need to speak to councils first and foremost. That's the key people we need to talk to, as well as obviously the university and the estates team. In terms of the discount, that will be if when they pay up front. So it's a student option, so they don't have to do that if they don't want to. But it sort of almost guarantees a space for students to have to say, if you pay so much up front, it'll be cheaper in the long run, but also you'll get a space. And we need to improve that because it's really bad, especially at Kettleston Road.
Neil, yeah, you're going to introduce a prepaid parking system here at Killeston Road. It's already full today, and there's a lot going on as always. So if you were going to introduce a prepaid parking system, surely there'd be more students that would overflow the parking situation here. So how can you fix that?
Okay, so not necessarily. So what we will do is it will actually in fact encourage people to commute with other people, because if you pay a fee up front, you can say, well, let's split the costs, and let's say I drive 1 week, you drive next week, it will almost pretty guarantee people as well, because there are people that do come on site that just park, and there's Broadway to park as well, and I've done it myself a couple of times, so know how annoying it is. So yeah, that's kind of what we'll do. I don't think that's really answered the question, but
Simple.
Everything's just going to throw me off, isn't it?
Absolutely simple. No, it's brilliant. Right, Nina, we'll come to you. Please don't bite my head off again. Your simple first manifesto point is to implement personalised learning. What is it, and how will you carry it out?
So the reason I'm really passionate about making learning personal to us is just because I want every student to feel like what they produce while at university, be an essay, be it an artwork, represents who they are and where they come from. So I'm an international student, so it's kind of important for me that it kind of reflects that as well, because it's a key part of my personality. But the way I want to move it forward, I'm not going to pretend to know what every single student wants. So my plan is for the beginning couple of months of my role, when we start in September, is to kind of gather feedback to see how students want to learn, and then kind of try and implement that in writing policies that I can push forward, because I will have that student backing to show that this is what students want and these are the changes that they want to make.
And then, so you think that's an implementation thing that you can get within that solid year? You can get the feedback from students, you can get the university to approve it and go, yeah, we're going to change this for not 2020, 2021, but it was 2021, 2022. The following year, I think a legacy type thing that you
Yeah, so it is kind of continuation of what Mel's doing at the moment with the globalisation manifesto point, but of course I need to rebrand it for me.
Of course.
So that's kind of, don't want her work to die out with her leaving, so that's why I've not taken it on completely, but I've taken that main thread of it. I want to pull it through for my year, and then hopefully whoever comes up after me will do the same.
Brilliant, absolutely super. Thank you, Ellie. We'll come to you. You want to increase training for part-time officer student reps. What particular training do you want to include?
I think online training is probably quite important for students at the minute, because it's quite hard having to work around a schedule to get people into in-person training. So having a more intensive online course would probably be more important, as I know that a lot of student reps don't feel confident in their role and know what they're doing. And I think that can be improved upon with more intensive training online, as well as having more training intervals throughout the year. So having some at the start of the year and then having some at the start of next semester, and improving that kind of, just having a continuum of training.
Right, two follow-ups, sorry, apologies. What, specifically, you say on the online training, what online training would you introduce that isn't already being done?
So it'd be a set, so how I describe it is that you'd have to go through a series of information that is detailed, and then you have to do a test at the end, and if you don't pass the test you have to redo it. And it's a system of, instead of, because I had to watch a video for mine and then do the test, I want it to be a bit more intensive in the sense that it's got several modules to it, instead of just the one video and then the test.
Absolutely. And then, so with that, and what you've just said there in the last bit of your answer, that's something that you want to increase as well, is that to make sure that every single student rep, before they even run for that position, knows exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah, I think it's important to let student reps know that what their role actually entails and what they should be doing, because I know from my experience that there's reps that don't turn up to the PCM meetings, and I think that it should be kind of instilled, like it should be made clear before they start the role that they are required to go to these meetings and they are required to get student feedback and bring it to the PCMs.
Brilliant. Now, your final manifesto point is about healthy vending machines here at Kettleson Road to encourage kids to eat healthier and everything like that. How do you think that will go down? Do you think people will switch to the healthier options of the vending machines other than the crisps, the sweets, the Haribos that are already on offer?
It's all about giving people more option and other things other than crisps and chocolate. You know, they're all very nice things to have. I've had my fair share of them, so. But people have been asking for having healthier options in vending machines, and the university isn't giving us that. So what I propose to do is we get a vending machine that is sponsored. So there's minimal amount of money coming out of out of the students' union, or if none at all, in an ideal world. And it will be also the food that will be in the vending machines will be put through Keddies. So I know we do quite a lot of good things in Keddies at the minute in terms of sending food back. Stuff gets turned into oil and farm feed, and we get, I think it's 10% back off overall for some of the stuff. So yeah, we would look at putting stuff through Keddies, and Josh, who's the manager there, he controls a very tight ship there. So in terms of getting inventory and that, but obviously be relying on him quite a bit, and be able to produce the healthier options that students need, and also to keep them in the university longer and into the libraries as well.
Brilliant. Nina, we'll go to you. Your final manifesto point, is regarding employability. You state that you want to figure out how the university can improve employability, and I quote, find the gaps and fill them. What gaps do you expect to find?
So currently the report that I've been working on has been with the career service about kind of where we're, so it's been with the career service and looking at the School of Arts, because I'm a part-time officer of art and media. It kind of makes sense that I'm looking at that kind of area. And so we've looked at courses where students report not being confident that they'll find a job when they graduate, or just where opportunities aren't being shared as much as they probably should. So that I kind of want to bring that to the whole university and kind of look at where those problem areas are, where students don't feel confident, where it's just the careers haven't been able to deliver as much as they would like to, because they're an amazing service and there's a surprising amount of students who don't know that they exist. And for me, they've been completely invaluable as a student. I want to bring that experience to everyone, so that's kind of what I want to do.
As a member of Phantom Media, we sympathise with that. A lot of people don't know we exist either.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Yeah. There's that one. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, I had to introduce that small little thing there. Just there. Ellie, finally, before we go through closing statements and everything, your closing statement and your last one is that you want to create an inclusive learning environment.
Yeah.
Just tell us what that is, please.
So, an inclusive learning environment would be where everyone's needs are met, no matter what background they come from, no matter what they are struggling with, so mental health, learning disabilities. I know that the university has quite a large number of students with dyslexia, dyspraxia, and I think it's providing more support and knowing what they need in terms of their learning needs and ensuring that they're being met, and having this kind of student-led environment where lecturers kind of work in partnership with students rather than having that kind of more leadership involvement, instead of asking students what they need. I want to introduce the dyslexia-friendly font as well, because I feel like it's quite important. I know a lot of people with dyslexia that benefit from that font, and I think that it is an important thing to introduce, as well as making sure that just everyone's needs are met and having that equal balance, like that equal footing for everyone, because we're all paying the same amount to be here, so why should some students be given the chance to succeed but others are kind of being held back?
100%. Brilliant. Right, now we'll go to you. Why do you think you deserve to win this election?
So I've been programme rep, I've been college rep, I've been chair of the Education Council, and VP of Education is like the next one in line, if you like. You know, it's the one that I haven't had yet, and that I really want. So if students like my manifesto and they want these things that they've been asking for years, now's the time to finally have this stuff. You know, I've got a plan in place. Granted, I know that stuff might not exactly go according to plan, but with a plan, you've got to have a plan B. So there's always a backup plan. But also in terms of voting, you know, if they vote for me, it will benefit them, but also benefit me as well personally. Not just in the case of it being a job and full-time employment, but also will help family as well. My mum has dementia. My dad has been battling cancer for 6 years, and being a student as well is very tough. There's not a lot of money that we're getting into the house, so to be actually able to have a job as well, and being able to have my own personal kind of motivation for it, and giving the students what they want as well is yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Liam. Ellie, same question to you, please.
Because I'm quite passionate about having like that equal footing for everybody to succeed, because everyone can get a first if with the right support and the right help, and I'm really passionate about having this inclusive environment where everyone feels welcome and everyone feels that they can succeed. So.
Nina, finally to you.
So I shall kind of explain why you should pick Cupric in these elections, because I'm really, really passionate about making a change, about listening to the students and what they want and need, about kind of making sure that everyone's learning is inclusive and reflective of who they are. And this is my dream job. This is what I want to really, really want to do following on from uni. I've got the experience, I've got the drive, I've got the passion, so pick Cupric.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.